Hello, everybody, and welcome to my podcast, Find Your Flourish. I'm Rabbi Avrohom, and I am your CEO, or Chief Encouragement Officer. The reason I like to label myself as a Chief Encouragement Officer is because I think there's far too little encouragers in the world. What does encourage mean? Encourage means to give somebody courage. So if you know somebody that's suffering from anxiety or fear, and you can give them the courage to face some obstacle in their life, some challenge, and overcome that challenge, you are the chief encouraging officer in their lives. And my whole life, I've tried to devote to encourage others. You know, we live in a world today where there's a world of cancel culture, where there's people who don't encourage others, where there's people who their entire purpose is to tear somebody down. And I think that if we would just be more encouraging of each other, the entire world would benefit. I'm reminded of a story of Reb Levi Yitzchak of Berditchev. Reb Levi Yitzchak of Berditchev was a mystic, and he always looked for the positive and the good in everybody. One day, there was this burly thief, an evil man that terrorized his victims in the region in which he lived. One day, the little Reb Levi Yitzchak of Berditchev, the old rabbi with the white beard, saw this man, and he grabbed him by the lapels, and he shook him, and he said, "I am so jealous of you." So this big, brawny thief looked at the little rabbi and said, "You, rabbi, jealous of me? Do you know what I've done in my life? Do you know what I have, how much pain and suffering I've inflicted on my fellow man, and you are jealous of me? You are spiritual, Rabbi. You have lived a clean, beautiful, noble life, and I the opposite. Why would you be jealous of me?" So Rabbi Levi Yitzchak told him, because you can transform all of your sins into merits through repenting, through changing your life. And in doing that, you will have so many merits that you will have more merits than me. What an incredible message if we just stop and think about it for a little bit. What was Reb Levi Yitzchak of Berditchev telling this person? He was encouraging him. A lot of times we are stuck in our lives because we just don't have the courage to make the changes that we need in our life. But when we find that courage, or when a Reb Levi Yitzchak of Berditchev comes into our life and helps us with that courage, then we are able to transform those things that were our biggest challenges that held us back into something noble, ennobling, and something that brings light and goodness to the world. My beloved wife is doing her PhD in education. So I always defer to her when it comes to the education of our children. And one thing that my wife has consistently encouraged me to do is not to praise our children for their attributes. So we never praise our children. We never tell them, "Oh, you're so clever, you're so smart, or you're so athletic." We never praise those things because that is nothing to, those are gifts that they are born with, that they're endowed with. They are not gifts that they have worked for. Instead, my wife encourages me to praise the children for the effort that they put in. So if a child does well in a test, I won't tell them, "You're so smart." Maybe I will, but I shouldn't. And my wife will correct me if I do. What I do and should tell them is, "I'm so impressed with how hard you studied for this test. And the results are a reflection of how hard you studied." So what I'm doing is I'm praising the effort. And when you praise the effort, when you encourage the effort, you see that the child focuses and you remove the barriers to producing more effort, which is really what we want to do. So when I say that I'm the Chief Encouragement Officer of this podcast, I hope that as you invite me into your life and as we proceed on this journey together, I hope that you will allow me to encourage you. And by the way, when you encourage somebody else, you are also encouraged yourself. There's an interesting palindrome. Palindrome is where you can read a word backwards and forwards and it has meaning. So in Hebrew, the word v'natnu, which means and we gave, can be read forwards as v'natnu, and if you read it backwards, it's v'natnu. And I think what that implies is that there's a two-way street. When you give to somebody, you receive in return. When you are an encourager, a chief encouragement officer in somebody else's lives, you are not only giving, but you are finding courage within your own life as well. So thank you for your time today, and I look forward to next week spending more time with you, learning together with you, growing together, and encouraging each other.